Hi, I'm Pastor Noel, and we are here on Common Ground, back at the Common Ground Prayer Chapel. And I wanted to share one of my favorite Common Ground stories. In the early days, when people were leaving us notes of the powerful encounters, very tangible encounters people were having with God here, we didn't know what to do. You know, the United Methodist congregation, we just weren't good at that. and we wanted to be better at it. Like, what does it mean to steward the space? And so we reached out to the 24/7 prayer room in downtown Charlotte that is expert at creating space out in the community for people to pray and connect to God. So we reached out to them, and the founder, Lisa Koons, who I call Mother Lisa, and who is one of the, if not the mother of the international prayer movement. She came and spent a day with me and Pastor George, and we just asked her, like, is there something more we should do in the prayer chapel to make it more useful? And she said, the prayer chapel's fine. She said, the big thing you need to do is to understand that this whole 93 acres is a prayer chapel. That this whole space is a sanctuary. And how can you invite people to see themselves, to understand that when they're here, they're stepping into God's sanctuary? And with their help, we developed the prayer stations that are along the prayer trail and the labyrinth. So you have to come and see those for yourself. But we also, at the time, reached out to the larger United Methodist connection, global connection, and we asked for help. And we got connected to one of the global consultants, Paul Nixon. And early on, while we're sitting with him at a Chinese restaurant in Richmond, Virginia, at a workshop, as we told him the story of what God was doing here, he quickly helped us to understand this campus better. And he said, you need to understand that there are two things going on. Like, one, you have Common Ground is a kingdom mystery. This is bigger than the United Methodist Church. And then on this campus, the United Methodist Church is establishing, hopefully, a missional outpost, right, as servants of God. But that, just understand that Common Ground does not belong to the United Methodist Church. It belongs to the work of God, the kingdom of God. And it's bigger. In fact, the United Methodist Church and what you're doing there, you belong to Common Ground. And so Paul, we could not have, Paul, people pay Paul a lot of money to consult with them. And Paul happened to be in the area, coming into the area, so he agreed to fly in early and, steal a few hours for us. And so we let our team of leaders know that he was coming in. And Paul landed, and I greeted him over on the other side of the campus at the Life Center. And he was, he's got his button-down, white-collared shirt, just very professional. Got his phone out, started taking pictures, asking questions, documenting, and I was like, oh gosh, like, this is gonna be a complete waste of time, because what Common Ground is, you cannot see. It's not about the Life Center or about our programs. It's so much bigger, right? He even had said that to us, right? I was like, what's he doing? Like, he's taking pictures of the playground. He's like, what is he doing? And when we got over here to the prayer chapel, the team was kind of assembled here, and I introduced him. There were, I don't know, maybe a dozen people or less, 10 to 12. And And then after he greeted folks, I opened up the door. I just, started to step in the prayer chapel with him. He was in front of me, and we stepped in, and I was showing him the prayer journal on the altar, and he started like stumbling backwards and exclaiming, "God is in this place. God is in this place." And he literally kind of staggered out, against me, staggered out of the prayer chapel, out the front door, screaming, "God is in this place." And we looked at him and we said, exactly, like that's the issue. God is in this place in a powerful way. And what do we do as a church, as the stewards of this space? And he started screaming, "Stay out of the way." Like, okay, wait. Big Mr. International Church Consultant says to us, your job is to stay out of God's way. Well, from that moment on, Paul became like a child. He became just giddy. And as we led him around the campus and on the trails, Paul was just started to prophesy, to speak about what Common Ground would become. And I can't remember everything he said, but one of the things that Paul said was that other congregations will come to you and you will coach others. You will mentor other congregations in developing this model, that there will be other common grounds. And we laughed. We were like, "Paul, that's ridiculous. We don't know what we're doing. We didn't start this thing. God did. And we don't know what we're doing." And he said, "But mark my word, people will come and you will teach them how to do this." And true to that prophetic word, we have worked with congregations, both United Methodist and non-United Methodist, around the region to develop their own expression of common ground. It's just a powerful story. Common Ground is a powerful story of how God has taken a people that didn't know what was going on exactly, and invited us on a journey to partner with God on a journey, to create a space where all God's children can find a sanctuary where they can connect to God, their Creator, and connect to their neighbor, and connect to God's creation. Maybe one of the things too is to connect to who they really are. But don't take my word for it. Like, come and see for yourself. Either come to this prayer chapel, or better yet, immerse yourself in this 93-acre sanctuary that ain't got no door.